Vanakkam, Namaste, and blessings to everyone across the globe. This is Dr. Bairavee Balasubramaniam, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about the meaning of key astrological shifts and transits between now and August 2nd. In a previous video, I gave you the list of all the transits which I call as comprising of the season of shifts. You can refer to that video if you want a listing of when, what happens, and how that links to everything else, and so on and so forth. This is a less technical video than my first one. Now, basically, we've got a lot of energy in Leo right now. Leo is a beautiful sign associated with romance, creativity, self-expression, authenticity, and the innocent joys of the inner child. Now, we've had Sun conjunct Leo today, meaning we've had a dual combination of our awareness, our focused consciousness, and also the energy of the great benefactor, the one who provides blessings, that being Jupiter. So today, many of us would have felt this absolute bout of sheer positivity, optimism, and joy. Some of us may manifest it in different ways. For some, it may actually manifest as an intensification of a perception of pain or a situation of constriction, in which case you may actually want to ask, what is it that you are doing to block yourself from the energy of sheer sunshine and joy that Leo can bring into your life? For others, they may literally be feeling as though they are walking on cloud 9 and able to do anything like Superman or Superwoman, and their auras are shimmering in different beautiful shades of iridescence and rainbow hues. Others may simply be feeling that they have a sense of calm, a sense of composure, a sense of just being able to flow through and effortlessly glide through or around blocks or obstacles that they may face. I would say I'd come in the third category right now. I faced a few tense moments today, but I just had this sense of just being able to deal with it, and it worked fine. Now, we've got all this Leo energy, and this Leo energy is only going to intensify when Mercury and Venus and Lilith, Lilith's already in Leo, but when all of these bodies come together and converge and influence each other, we're just going to have an intensification of this energy. I'm going to call this the joy house. So why aren't we all celebrating? Why isn't everyone wearing a party hat and saying, woo, we've got Leo in the sky? Well, we always do, but Leo is lit up in the sky now. Well, I would say a big reason for that is the square with Mars that the Sun and Jupiter currently make. We've been having this Sun-Mars square for the past few weeks now, and it is intensifying by the day. Basically, when Mars enters Scorpio tomorrow, July 26th, we are going to find an intensification of conflict. Now, don't be alarmed. I'm talking about conflict between astrological energies. They can manifest in individuals and in collectives in different levels, but they are not predetermined outcomes. What you're going to have is this clash between Leo and Scorpio. Leo is basically fire, Scorpio is water. Now, one might be tempted to consider this a clash between the masculine and the feminine, but consider that Mars is in Scorpio right now. So it is basically the masculine and the masculine kind of squaring off at this time. So what do you do when you have two bulls or deers or bucks with their antlers trying to basically butt heads? What do you do? Now, it's not exactly the kind of energy that's asking you to find balance and compromise. It's the kind of energy that is forcing you to find a new path. This is where you have polarities, where you have binaries clashing with each other in ways that do not see a vision of coexistence. But this is where the challenge lies. With Leo and Scorpio in the square that they are in, this energy can very easily manifest as aggression, as political or other forms of violence, as the clash of ideologies, be it of religious or spiritual ideologies, because Scorpio is associated very, very profoundly with deep esoteric wisdom as well. Now, all of these can also manifest, but what do you do about it? Is this already a given? Not necessarily. This is what I really want to talk to you about. I consider this challenge of Leo and Scorpio as a clash of different aspects of the masculine. As a spiritualist, I worked with both aspects of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And in my previous posts, I've been talking more about the divine feminine, but I feel now is the time to talk about the divine masculine. The divine masculine doesn't necessarily mean gods. It can simply mean, for those of you who are not spiritual, the masculine archetype within your psyche. It is a time in which we are called as individuals and as a society to assess and truly recognize those qualities we valor in masculinity. Now, some of you might ask, well, what does this have to do with the world at large? And my answer to you is this. Now, most, if not all of us, are not sitting in the corridors of power making decisions. So the kind of change that we can make, and in fact the most powerful change that we can make, is in our own thinking, in ourselves. So let's look at the different archetypes of masculine energy and the ways in which they have been kind of pitted against each other. Can a man be allowed to be creative? Can a man be allowed to be powerful without being intimidating? Can a man be allowed to be even vulnerable or emotionally receptive? This is a time in which we are being called to look at this masculine energy in ways in critical, but not in the sense of condescending, but in analytical ways. We're being called to look at this energy and to find different expressions of it, ones that can actually prevent these two forces from colliding with each other. This is a time to actually find a middle path. And is one of the reasons why I have created a prayer event, which I invite all of you to. It will take place on July 27th at the time of the new moon. New moon is when the sun and the moon, and in this case, Jupiter in Leo, converge. It's a powerful time of setting intentions, and I have themed it as a new moon prayer dedicated to setting an intention for healing the divine masculine. Spiritualists, feel free to join. Now, prayer is one way we can affect change, but transforming our perspectives and becoming more aware of the energetic dynamics within us and in the world at large is another way we can affect change. So never ever discount the influence you have as an individual upon the lives of those around you and the ripple effect that carries. Now, enough politicizing and spiritual astro preaching. Let's get back to the aspects. So we've already talked about this Leo-Scorpio square that's coming up, and it's one that's going to last for a few weeks, but there's also other aspects in the sky. There's this wonderful grand water trine between Mercury, Saturn, and Chiron retrograde. I've written about it and will provide a post below because I don't want to take too much of your time in this video. This energy, opposed with Pluto, therefore making a kite, basically gives us the analytical and intellectual faculties to find pathways of healing. Use this energy when working with the masculine archetypes in yourself and in understanding those archetypes as they are represented in society. Venus will then, Mercury will shift, and Venus will then take its place in this grand trine, and this occurs towards the tail end of July. Basically, I see Venus as the midwife helping us birth a new reality, seeded with the intentions which we focus upon at the new moon. This is a very, very important role that Venus plays at this time of intense energetic change, and is one that I cannot underemphasize or overemphasize. I have to tell you, she is what she is. She is basically helping us birth our spiritual values into existence at this time. Now, we are also having many other shifts. But another thing that I just want to tell you about is that we will have a beautiful, near-perfect grand sextile between July 30th and 31st. Now, the only point that is missing is in Taurus. Taurus is once again associated with sweetness and joys. And during these 2 days, for those of you performing focused prayers or doing spiritual practices that involve working with astrological energies, these are 2 days on which, to the best of your ability, embody that feeling of joy. It may seem like the most contradictory thing to do, especially when you read the headlines and you see what's going on in the world, but it is one way to combat the rising tides of fear, of worry, of panic, and of illusion. Now, many of us think that we need to be outraged by what's happening in the world, and I agree with that to a certain extent. But I also agree with the principle that anger begets anger and hate begets hate. So have your passions, have your opinions, but my advice, if you'd like to take it, is to embody them in ways that actually enhance happiness, joy, creativity, peace, and create bridges of healing within yourself or between yourself and others at this time. Do what you can in your space to affect this change. Now, this is a more political message than I thought I would be giving. I had all these astrological aspects listed out, but this is the message I really want to give to you now. So I hope you will take this message in the spirit in which it is intended. Essentially, the skies tell us that there are no limits to what we can manifest. So let us manifest love. Thank you all so very much for your time and blessings.